Oh, I didn't see you there. Hey guys, just slowly losing my mind. You know that old saying, you learn something new every day? Well, these days it is getting harder and harder to know if what you learn every day is worth it. But at the very least, a few days ago, I uncovered something truly special to share with the class, and that was blue Anon in the wild. Now, blue Anon, you may ask, that sounds an awful lot like something else, doesn't it? Something I may have heard before. Just, it's on the tip of my tongue. Ah, damn it. You know, I guess the microchip I got implanted with at birth by the pedophile Nazi Jew cannibals is just interfering with my thought process right now. Oh, wait, right. Blue Anon. Sounds like QAnon. Remember them? Well, if you've been living under a rock, firstly, is there any room under there? And secondly, QAnon refers to a bunch of boomers who somehow believed that a random 8chan poster going by the name Q was secretly a source inside the Trump administration, revealing how Donald Trump was going to expose a cabal of satanic cannibalistic pedophiles and was also going to overturn all the election results allegedly by this past month, which I'm sure is going to happen any day now. Any day now. Any day now. Yes, this is what happens when you believe anything on 8chan. Big mistake. But that's QAnon, so what is Blue Anon? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. The blue-pilled version of QAnon, a bunch of leftists with their own magical conspiracies about the world. Magical thinking that is just as batshit insane as QAnon, and arguably significantly more dangerous.
Square! Slash his throat! Every Republican! Suck my balls!
But quick segue before we jump down that rabbit hole, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Bastion.com. As we all know, algorithm manipulation, bans, and censorship are just part and parcel of one's daily life with big tech. To make matters worse, our every step is recorded, tracked, and Facebook is even using algorithms to scan your private messages. Super awesome stuff, which totally makes me confident my identity and security are safe with these websites. But this is why Bastion.com, spelt with Y, has worked to offer something different, a completely privatized and decentralized social network. It does not track you, requires no personal information, and does not ban dissidents. All content is moderated by the users themselves. Bastion, formerly known as PocketNet, features video blogging and lively open discussions about anything you want to bring up, and even has released an end-to-end encrypted chat service. The site is built on blockchain technology and is not connected to your phone number or identity in any way. So if you're looking for a freedom and privacy-oriented social network, join the Bastion of free speech at Bastion.com. Plus, if you join today, the Bastion team has agreed to give 1 Pocket Coin, the network token, to users who sign up through my referral link below. All right, thank you so much, Bastion, for that sponsorship. Now, let's get back on the crazy train. My first introduction to Blue Anon, well, I feel like I've been seeing it my whole life, quite frankly, but it has become particularly prevalent since I've begun doing a few debates here and there on Twitch.com. They've been going well.
If people are portraying you as having killed like a refugee child or something like that.
Why do you have to be like this? You
Damn it, lame
piece of shit.
Fair.
God, I hate women.
Right, so you don't know anything. It's not one thing off. It's you know nothing, and you're just trying to bring that up to try and make me look bad.
It was you on the boat chasing down the migrants in Europe.
Oh, I was chasing down migrants, was I? How many did I catch? What's my kill count?
I don't know.
Now, the other day, I was debating a fellow named Rose Wrist on racism and policing, and he asserted, completely unironically, that there was strong evidence far-right wingers started some of the BLM riots in 2020.
But out of those 7%, there's definitely like a portion of those that absolutely are just like, flames that ignite among the people that are there protesting, and things get violence, people get agitated, and there ends up being violence. However, out of those 7%, there's also significant evidence to suggest that there was empirically backed interference by a number of far-right organizations.
And that maybe, perhaps, just maybe, there were a few silly, cringe Antifa who did it too. Just a few. I don't want to misrepresent him here, so I will say he has clarified that he only meant to imply that some of the riots were started by right-wingers and not to minimize the role of Antifa. So let me anticipate those objections straight away. Just because you allege a conspiracy was responsible for a tiny thing doesn't make the accusation any less crazy. That's like saying, yeah, I said Jimmy Hoffa was buried in Barack Obama's backyard, but hey, at least I only said his femur was buried there. In other words, however much weight he assigned to it, this is an extraordinary claim which requires extraordinary evidence. I mean, an accusation like this is on par with people who claim the Capitol riot was all a big plot started by Antifa.
That was all the left. We have all the proof. There's tons of proof.
As the kids say, big if true. So surely there is no way a seasoned debate bro would parrot an unproven conspiratorial claim like that without some kind of reason. Surely Rosewrist had significant evidence that right-wingers started some, even just one, BLM riot in 2020. And you know, when asked, to his credit, he didn't just try to shift the goalposts or something. No, he proudly and confidently posted his evidence, which was an article about Umbrella Man. A man hitting a window with an umbrella at a singular BLM protest, who was not identified by the police at any point, whose only connection to white supremacy or the alt-right or any of it was a random tip to police, who was investigated after that tip with literally no result, confirmation, or charge in over a year. In short, a man who, despite the best efforts of everyone involved, has not been found guilty of anything or even identified, just a simple, anonymous rando from a single BLM riot who is alleged to be right-wing by an unverifiable source to a credulous media, and all because he hit a window with an umbrella. That was Rosewrist's smoking gun. Look, at least in the case of the Capitol conspiracy, they had one dude who was actually arrested, John Sullivan, who participated in the riot and did in fact have links to Black Lives Matter and their protests. Granted, that's nowhere near enough proof to suggest that left-wingers started the whole thing, and there isn't further evidence for that, but at least the Capitol conspiracy theorists had one guy. Rosewrist didn't even have that. What he had was a bunch of articles pointing out that 4chan, 8chan, and Telegram were all saying right-wingers should instigate bad things at BLM protests, but no proof that they actually did. In other words, when it comes to people who uncritically believe what they read on 8chan, the list apparently doesn't just include QAnon boomers, but also left-wing debate bros. Now here's the thing. I don't actually think Rosewrist really believes that right-wingers are responsible for even some of the BLM riots. I think he just wanted to catch me off guard by saying, no you. And unfortunately for him, I knew his no you argument was bullshit, but it may have just worked on someone with a less well-honed bullshit detector. And those kinds of risks are very, very popular with all sides of the debate world. Maybe if I just throw something with shaky evidence out there, they won't know. And yes, I did say all sides, I know. Disgusting centrist take from you, Lauren. Listen, hear me out. I still think lefties suck more, unless you're in my audience, then you're great. But I am applying this to everyone because I love you guys, and I don't want you or me to be cringe, and we are all susceptible to fall for this behavior because it's easy. And just as Blue Anon and QAnon prove that neither side has a monopoly on conspiracist bullshit, the psychological impulses underlying those ideas are also universal. They come from a desire to believe that your side, your tribe, never does anything bad, that the only reason anyone thinks they do anything bad is because of a massive conspiracy by the outgroup to start violence and make it look like your side did it. If you believe that, go outside, touch some grass. In fact, don't even just touch it, pull it right out of the ground, go throw it in a blender, and start eating that every single day. That's your medical advice for at least 3 months. Rip that QAnon and CNN IV out of your arm and eat grass. And speaking of CNN, let's talk real fast about the one major reason why something like Blue Anon can be, and often is, more dangerous than nonsense like QAnon. Because at least right-wing nonsense is usually checked by the media. Even right-wing stuff that isn't nonsense goes checked by the media, but Blue Anon? It tricks legitimate media sources because employees at those places desperately want to believe it. That's how you get stories like Umbrella Man, and right-wingers started the BLM riots that young Twitch influencers go out there and spread to the world, or the idea that Larry Elder is a white supremacist, or that there was a fully planned, plotted, and executed insurrection attempt on the US government on January 6th that was highly comparable to the Taliban, despite the fact that the FBI have not found any evidence for that. These things are conspiracy theories. They're nonsense. If they came from the right, they would be called as much. They are misinformation that is dangerous to a functioning democracy, which means the people who propagate them, checkmark or not, deserve to be called out for it. Just as they deserve to be called out for their insane takes on Pissgate, Jussie Smollett, or the Covington kids, or the absurd arguments that America is still a nation governed by white supremacists, or asserting that the wage gap is only due to deliberate sexism, or pretending that differences in arrest rates are explainable solely with reference to racism. In all of these cases, massive amounts of contrary evidence exists, which means that pushing these counterfactual, delusional claims not only doesn't help the left to achieve their alleged goal of making the world a better and more equal place. No, it's worse than that. It makes tons of people not believe that their intentions are good because their arguments are so obviously false. We used to have a media to hold both sides to account when they lapsed like this, but now, unfortunately, when the left is involved, you just got people like me, random chick on the internet. Sorry, this is what you get. I'm doing my best here to treat all nutters equally, and hopefully more will follow suit. And I think they will, because, you know, the reality is you cannot fix the world's problems or even understand them through the lens of insanity, and eventually people are going to get real sick of that. So please, guys, go check on your Blue Anon friends. See if they're okay. Get them out of there before it's too late. And your QAnon friends, if there's anyone that's still following that stuff. Treat all nutters equally. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.